I moved back in with my parents at the age of 32, and I've been here for the last 2 years.
Why are you guys moving in with your boyfriend before marriage? Rent is high, bills are high, groceries are high, breathing in is high, and breathing out is high, and that is why.
Maybe moving back in with your parents is the new flex.
I can't believe I'm actually moving back with my parents at the age of 34.
I don't want to hear this, but the best thing you could do is move back in your parents' house, save your money, get yourself out of survival mode.
Gen Z and millennials are moving back home. Nobody can afford to live on their own anymore. I remember when the flex was to move out before you were 30, and now the flex is move back home before you're evicted. Let's get into it.
An entire generation priced out 2 million millennials and Gen Z stuck living with their parents, relatives, or roommates. I don't care what nobody tries to tell you. I don't care if they're trying to hide it, but numbers do not lie. We are currently in a super recession right now. Over the recent years, we have seen the highest foreclosure of homes, the lowest home ownership percentages.
If you really think about how bad things have been and how it's been trending, where as people work in certain positions and jobs, it's like nobody is safe, right? And the people that are getting the short end of the stick right now are definitely the Gen Z and millennials like myself, right? Going through COVID, a lot of the Gen Z, they didn't even get to walk down they didn't get the opportunity to have like a real graduation because of COVID and everything like that. And then now we have this new political whatever going on right now, and the war in Iran and just all these factors, tariffs and everything. So it's like the cost of living is so high that it's not giving people the opportunity to move out. Times are just so different right now. And it's almost like if you pay attention to it, it's like the inevitable, right? At one point, people were speaking about how they weren't able to find jobs. And it's still like that right now. As I record this, is April 2026. People aren't able to find jobs. Even people that work in careers or working professions where they went to school and gotten a degree, it's like no one is safe. No one is safe. People in healthcare getting laid off. People in IT, a lot of IT professionals have been getting laid off. And even there's some AI transition happening that is affecting a lot of lawyers. So anyone that's passing the bar, trying to get into like an entry level position, not being an actual lawyer, but at least getting in the door to do some kind of entry level grunt work, at a law office. There are AI tools now that are preventing these people that just graduated past the bar and they can't even get hired. So it's just so crazy.
And the highest rental costs that we have ever seen of all time. And the salaries do not match at all across the entire country. So when you look at this specifically, of course people are going to shack up and have roommates and stay with their parents or relatives because it just costs too much to live on your own now. Making the smart decision, you gotta save some type of money because one false move and you become homeless. Mm-hmm. Not only do we have the highest rental rates right now and also mortgage rates, it's just high across the board when it comes to car insurance, car prices, healthcare, food. So you wrap all of that up into one basket. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of have to sacrifice somewhere because you gotta live, man. You gotta live. And apparently we live in one of the most expensive times in history.
I'm 35 years old and me and my husband are moving back in with my parents. And I want to fucking talk about it. Me and my husband have been in survival mode for 3 or more years. It's basically been one of us has a great steady job and the other one somehow manages to lose their job.
I have a question. At what point how long do you feel as though you can go through survival mode? She said her and her husband have been going through it for the last 2.5, 3 years of survival mode. At what point, and this is, I'm asking a serious question, at what point do you feel as though you're going to sit down and write down your bills, your debt, your everything, and figure out, what do we need to do? Because I think that's a very long time to go through the struggle of trying to figure it out. Like, at what point do you just say, give the car back, you know, let me move some things around just so we can almost have an additional income. We'll eat less, we'll do this, we'll do that. But it's all I can think about. I'm not being insensitive. All I'm thinking about is a lot of sleepless nights. A lot of sleepless nights. So imagine 2 to 3 years of always trying to hustle and bustle and figure it out.
And right now it's my turn. And this is the longest I've gone in our relationship without steady income. And it is massively impacting us. The economy is just getting worse. You cannot survive on one income. I have hit what I would consider a paper ceiling, which basically means no one wants to hire me entry level because they want someone moldable who's never worked in these industries, right? So I have my property and casualty license. I have my Series 7. I have my Series 63. And I have 50.
So it's funny that she said that because I've also seen where a lot of companies don't want to hire people. She's 35. A lot of people don't want to hire younger people like Gen Z because Gen Z, they're a different breed. They're telling people what they are and what they're not going to do. So it's like she's hit her paper ceiling at 35 where nobody wants to hire her and then she can't move up type of situation. But then companies are saying they don't want to hire Gen Z because they just want to do what they want to do and they telling you what they're not going to do. And you can't really mold them and shape them. A lot of them that are following like that revolution of this doesn't make sense. Y'all want me to do this and do that. It's like, I mean, how do we figure this out?
15 years of experience in these industries. They don't want me, but I also can't move up. I can't move up to a better position because I don't have any of the credentials. I have management experience, but I don't have a degree. So I am going back to school for at least the next 2 years. And for the next 2 years, we are going to combine resources.
I'm just thinking, I hope it works out for her. I really do, with going back to school, because even people that have been in school, they're not doing well. And I would hope that in 2 years or less, everything would turn around. But wouldn't that be crazy to go back to school to try to gain more knowledge, more skills, add on a, certification degree, and then you still are in the same situation, in the same predicament? I hope it does work out for her.
With my parents to make it work. And we have to swallow our pride and we have to get this help because otherwise we are not going to have anything. Let me tell you this. I know how fucking privileged I am to be able to say that I'm doing this and that I'm making this decision. And I will tell you this as well. If we didn't get...
Listen, one thing I can say, I feel bad for the people that don't have anyone that they can go home to. It's a lot of people that are going home right now, a lot of Gen Z, millennials. People are going back home to live with their parents, and it's like on one end, it feels embarrassing, it feels degrading, it feels like, you feel like a failure that you have to do that, but it's so many people that don't have anybody. It's literally like they have to figure out their next move every single day because rent is high, they can't afford it, and their job isn't paying them enough. It's just like, be grateful for the people that have family to go home to. Be grateful because a lot of people don't have that.
My parents, we would have no one and nothing.
One thing I don't like and I don't appreciate is that, like, now that I'm older, everything want to start going. You know what I'm saying? I'm 26 right now. My pop was my age. Rent was probably like $300. This nigga was telling me how he paid $750 for a 2-bedroom back in like 08. 2000. You feel me?
Now, mind you, I believe when I moved out for the first time, I moved to the Midwest, and it was a temporary move, but that was my first experience of living alone. And I had a 1-bedroom, and my rent was like a little, maybe like $775 or something like that. And honestly, it wasn't the best of the best, but I was only moving there temporarily. And that was only about, at this point, that might have been about 3 years or so ago. This is 2026. So, I mean, 2022, 2023. Honestly, it was in the middle of COVID. So it was more so like 2020, 2021. That when I moved into that apartment, and honestly I didn't really know what to compare it to, because once again I've never lived on my own. But looking back at it now, it's like that was pretty affordable. Now the apartment was not that nice, it was not that nice, but it was clean. It was clean, there was no bugs, no nothing. But it had the white refrigerator, the white stove, all that. But it was something, and it was affordable.
Where did these prices go? It's like these niggas just said we raising the price on everything. Cause fuck was like, and the apartment, I remember like the apartment was a nice drawing, 2 nice size rooms for $750 a month. You know what I would do for an apartment at $750 a month? An apartment at $750 a month, 2 bedrooms, got roaches, rats, crackheads, mice, ants, fleas, ticks, water bugs, all
He
that.
is crazy, but he's saying something there. I mean, today, if you find a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for $750, yeah, you be careful. You be careful. Keep something on your hip, and you're going to need a whole lot of bug spray and a whole lot of patience. I mean, it'll keep you off the street, but it will not be quiet. It won't be clean. It's going to be some safety issues and things like that. So at this point, he said he was paying $2,000 a month for rent. And I'm like, shoot, where you stay? Because I know it's been circulating that people have been saying that paying $1,500 a month for rent is high for a 1-bedroom. And the fact that he's paying $2,000 a month, okay, well, he balling a little bit more than most. So
maybe moving back in with your parents is the new flex. And let me explain. Like, what if we stop for a second and just stop burning ourselves out on paying rent and paying all these useless bills on places that we don't even own? You know, you save money, you heal, you reset. You finally get to slow down. You finally get to move with intention and save some money. God willing, you got a good relationship with your parents. And I get it. Everybody's so quick to say, oh, you live at home. But honestly, I think that is changing. I think that is quickly changing because people are realizing that this economy is not set up for you to live alone and for you to be single in this country. And honestly, I think it's smarter than struggling. I think it's smarter to stay home and make money and save money than saying, oh, well, at least I got my own place. Yeah, you got your own place, but you broke. Shit's changed. I think we might have to bring back multi-generational housing. Because honestly, we Americans, we're the only one who live like this. We're the only one who clown each other for still living with our folks. It's honestly really stupid because if you can save a lot of money, you can combine your resources, you can get whatever you want. This consumerism, capitalistic society that America has brainwashed into our mind that you have to have your own everything is not normal and it's not necessary. So I don't know, maybe we need to spark some conversations on multi-generational housing again. What y'all think?
okay, he really said something there when he spoke about going back home and doing a reset instead of burning yourself out trying to pay rent. I'll be transparent. This was probably last month. I sat in my living room on the couch. The TV wasn't on, and I just sat there and I literally was like, I think I'm going to move back home. Never thought I would say that. And it's just the thing of like, you're doing the best you can. You're working the job. You're getting the paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, and then it goes back into the economy, right? But it's like, where is the wiggle room? Where is my money going? Like, electric bill through the roof. After a while, the renewal for the rent is going to be coming. Car insurance. Pay my car off. Thank the Lord, because I'm trying to tell you, like, give me a break here. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for somebody to move back home. Now, mind you, if I were to move back home, nobody would know I moved back home. Not one of my friends from back home would even know that I'm back, because it's, everybody has this mindset of they're independent, they can make it happen no matter what. It's just the economy is just not set up right now for a lot of people to be able to sustain on their own. I literally have my whole almost brand new bedroom set back home. Anytime I visit, the bed is made up. It's a TV on the wall, dresser, like everything is there. So it's just kind of like, it doesn't sound too bad, but it's also like, I mean, you do what you got to do. No judgment here. You do what you got to do because it is tough and it is hard, but it's nothing wrong with going back home to do a reset. Like, I even have to tell myself that if it were to come down to that. But yeah.
We just got everything out from the apartment. I can't believe I'm actually moving back with my parents at the age of 34. Sometimes you have to take a step backwards just to move forward, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm definitely going to miss having my own space for sure. Nothing beats, that's the best feeling in the world, just having your own space. But the only thing I can do from here is just move forward and just try to improve and better myself. I am very grateful to have my family to fall back on during times like these. So I'm very grateful for that. And we'll see where the next journey takes us.
I truly think it's okay to have that time to go back home, stack up your bread, reset, not really be in control of anything, you know, for the most part. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit annoying, but imagine all the time you probably spent not even living in the same state as your family, and people are getting older. You know, and that's one thing that I do consider. I do wish I saw my family more often. Do I want to live with them? No. But, you know, to everybody out there that's going through it, you know, be grateful that you do have a family to go back home to if you do have a family. Seek out some assistance. Maybe you and your friend, y'all can become roommates or do something, and, you know, do what y'all can to work hard and stack y'all money and do something temporarily. But it's gonna be okay. We're gonna all make it through it. But all right, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.